I was 23 when it happened. It was late October of 2019, and I had been working the overnight shift at a small gas station off Route 16 for about 4 months. The place sat alone between stretches of empty road and dark woods, far enough from town that after midnight, the silence felt unnatural. I only took the job because I needed quick money. At first, the night seemed easy. Stocking shelves, cleaning coffee machines, ringing up drunk customers buying cigarettes and energy drinks at 2 a.m. But after a while, I started noticing how strange people became after dark. The station looked harmless during the day. At night, though, the fluorescent lights buzzed constantly overhead, turning the windows into mirrors. Outside was nothing but blackness beyond the pumps. Sometimes cars would pull in without headlights. Sometimes, people would come inside and say nothing at all. You learn quickly that being alone at night changes the way you hear things. That Friday started normally. By 10:15 p.m., business had slowed to almost nothing. Rain tapped softly against the windows, while an old rock station played quietly through the ceiling speakers. I was wiping down the counter when the store phone rang. I answered without looking up. For a moment, there was only breathing. Slow, uneven. Then a voice spoke. "Busy night?" The voice sounded wrong immediately. Deep, stretched out, almost theatrical, like someone trying to imitate a horror movie killer. It reminded me of Ghostface from Scream, except flatter. More emotionless. I laughed under my breath. "All right," I said. "Which one of my friends put you up to this?" No answer. Then the caller whispered, "You shouldn't laugh when you're alone." The line clicked dead. I stood there for a second staring at the phone. Then I texted my friends. Naturally, they all thought it was hilarious. A few of them joked about me dying in a gas station horror movie. One swore it wasn't him. Another sent me a photo of himself playing Xbox at home. I brushed it off. At least I tried to. About 15 minutes later, the phone rang again. This time the voice asked, "Did the customer in the red jacket leave already?" The smile disappeared from my face instantly, because 10 minutes earlier, a guy wearing a red jacket really had been inside. I walked slowly to the front windows and looked outside. The parking lot was empty. No cars, no headlights, nothing except rain falling beneath the gas station canopy. I hung up without saying anything. Now I was unsettled. I started checking the security cameras mounted around the building. The footage was grainy, especially near the tree line behind the station. Every shadow looked like a person if you stared long enough. The phone rang a third time around 11 o'clock. I hesitated before answering. "You locked the back door yet?" My blood ran cold. The back door led to the storage room behind the store. Customers never used it. Nobody should have known whether it was locked or not. I immediately turned toward the hallway leading to the back. The door was partially open. I know for a fact I had closed it earlier. I remember the exact feeling that hit me then. Not panic. Something slower, heavier. The feeling that somebody was nearby, watching. I shut and locked the back door immediately, then checked the alley camera behind the building. At first I didn't see anything. Then, movement. A figure standing near the dumpsters. Too tall to make out clearly. Just standing there, motionless in the rain. I leaned closer to the monitor. The figure slowly stepped backward into darkness and disappeared. The phone rang again almost instantly. This time I didn't answer. A voicemail notification appeared seconds later. I don't know why I listened to it. I really wish I hadn't. At first there was only static, then faint movement, footsteps, and after several seconds the voice quietly said, "I can still see you." I muted the speakers immediately. From that point on, every sound inside the station became unbearable. The hum of the refrigerators, the ticking clock above the cigarettes, even the coffee machine dripping into the tray made me jump. By 11:40 p.m., I was seriously considering calling the police. That's when the front door opened. The The bell above it chimed softly. A man walked in wearing a dark hoodie soaked from the rain. He looked normal enough at first glance. Mid-30s maybe. Pale skin, thin build. Water dripping from his sleeves onto the floor. But he never blinked. Not once. He wandered the aisles slowly without picking anything up. Every few seconds he'd stop and glance toward me from between the shelves, watching, waiting. The entire store suddenly felt too quiet. Even the music overhead had stopped. I tried pretending to stock cigarettes while secretly watching him through the reflection in the cooler doors. Then something happened that made my stomach drop. The store phone started ringing again, and the man smiled. Not a big smile. Just enough. Enough to tell me he knew exactly why that phone was ringing. I didn't answer. The ringing continued. The man finally approached the counter carrying a single bottle of water. Neither of us spoke. I scanned it with shaking hands. Then, very calmly, he leaned slightly toward me and whispered, "You should have left earlier." Every muscle in my body locked up. I looked up fully for the first time. His expression was empty, cold, like he was studying me. Then he smiled again. That same awful smile. He took the bottle and walked out into the rain. But instead of heading toward a vehicle, he disappeared around the side of the building toward the darkness behind the station. Gone. I rushed to the cameras. Nothing. Only rain falling across empty pavement. Midnight couldn't come fast enough. The second closing time hit. I killed the lights, grabbed my backpack, and headed for the front door. My heartbeat was so loud I could barely hear anything else. The parking lot outside looked abandoned. No movement, no cars, no sound except rain and distant thunder. I stepped outside carefully and locked the door behind me. Then I started walking quickly toward my car. Halfway there, crunch, footsteps behind me. Close, way too close. I turned and saw him emerging from the darkness beside the building. Not running, walking fast, head lowered slightly, smiling. I sprinted the rest of the way to my car, nearly dropping my keys trying to unlock it. The second I got inside, I slammed the locks down. A moment later, he reached the driver's side window and just stood there, rain running down his face, smiling. He slowly lifted one hand and tapped twice on the glass. Then my headlights flashed across him as I threw the car into reverse and sped out of the parking lot. In the rearview mirror, I saw him standing alone beneath the gas station lights, watching my taillights disappear into the rain. The next morning, I quit. A week later, I heard from another employee that strange calls had started happening again during overnight shifts. Nobody ever found out who was making them. And sometimes, even now, years later, when my phone rings late at night from an unknown number, I still hesitate before answering.